Hi, this is John with Fix It Planet. Today we're going to do a Galaxy S6 Active screen repair. Super easy. There's really not much to it. This screen is out even though the glass is not broken. So we've put it on a hot plate and warmed it up nice and toasty. We're going to use our suction cup here, and we're going to start separating it from the bottom of the screen and work our way down to the top. So it is connected at the top, and there's a couple of plastic caps that cover one over the display cable connector and one over the battery connector. And there's also adhesive in the center of the screen, so if you get it nice and warm, that should come loose pretty easily, but you may have to push your plastic in there. Make sure that you don't cut into the battery. And right in here you can see where the display connects right underneath this little plastic cap, and then there's another cap right here with a screw that has the battery connector underneath it. So it was nice of them to at least give us access to the battery connector so we can disconnect that while changing the screen. We don't want it to be connected. So we take this screw out, this cap comes right off and exposes the battery connector. Just pop that loose. There's another little plastic cap here that's covering over the display cable connector. Just going to loosen that up a little bit, and then it comes right out. So there's a few little components that are right around that connector. Be careful you don't chip those off when removing this pop connector. Now we're going to transfer these buttons to the new display, so we're going to want to warm this up a little bit. It's stuck down with adhesive. So we don't need to warm it much. We don't want to melt it. Just want to make it easier to work with. So we can push out from the outside. We're going to push in and pull from the inside here and just kind of peel away the adhesive. Just be careful that you don't rip it apart. And that's it. And there's our nice new shiny screen. This is a genuine OEM screen, high quality, big bucks. Screens are not cheap. So it comes with its own adhesive, and it'll be as good as new. But before we can stick it down permanent, we're going to do a quick test to make sure it looks okay. And we've got a little bit of sticky stuff here in front of the camera, so we're going to get that out of the way so we don't inadvertently get that stuck on the glass or on the camera lens. Get it out of our way. We're going to do a little cleaning on this when we get done, and if we can ever manage to get this pop connector in, we'll do a quick test just to make sure the screen looks okay and that the touch function is working. We can reconnect the battery now. So I had to wait a minute or two. Didn't have any charge on it, so we're up to 3%. That'll at least power it on. Right now, that's all we really care about. We just want to make sure that the screen looks good, touch function's working, and then we'll move on. So one of the things about this phone is that in order to get access to the battery or the charge port assembly or any of that stuff, you do have to take the screen off. And then you have to get all these screws out of the mid frame and remove the mid frame. And then you can get access to all those items. But what we're going to do here, we don't need to get all into that for this repair. It's super cool because, yeah, you just take the screen off. You got access to the pop connector and the battery. You don't need to take all that stuff out for this. But we got a lot of dirt around the edges, so we're going to scrape all that out of there. And then we're going to clean a little bit of the residue off with some alcohol. And that way we'll get a good bond with the new adhesive. So we just used a little high pressure air, blew out some of that extra dirt and dust, and we'll continue to scrape away any dirt and other gunk and stuff that we can get off of here. Then we'll clean it with a cloth and some alcohol. So I don't know. I mean, this is not a particularly interesting part of the video, but I do include it because I think if you were paying attention, you'll notice there's quite a bit of dirt and debris that's collected in around the gaps from this screen. And if you leave all that there and you put the new screen down, it's not going to stick. And you know, it'd be kind of embarrassing to have this thing fall, you know, start to come loose on you after you give it back to the customer. So we want to make sure that it's good and clean before we put the new screen on. And it only takes a few minutes to do it, so if you leave that part out, well, good luck. So do a quick inspection, make sure everything's gone. If I still see anything's there, then I'm going to come back and get that. And I see a little bit in this corner, right around the camera there. So now that that's all polished up nice and clean, we'll hit these buttons, get anything off of them. Much better. And we'll go ahead and put our plastic caps back on over the connectors. Make sure this nice and flat. And I don't know, I'm fumbling around with my connector. I can't seem to get it in there. A little cover for the connectors. Being fussy. But we don't want that to be sitting all cockeyed and stuff. We want to make sure it's sitting down there. We're going to center this screen on the speaker grill first, and then we'll sort of touch it down gently, and then we'll make sure everything's working really good before we press down on it. We'll use a little cleaning cloth and polish it off and apply some pressure, and it'll be stuck down good. So I couldn't do a test call because there was no service. So we're just going to check out all the buttons, make sure they work okay, check the cameras out. And if it's 5% or below, the flash won't work and things like that. But at least it brings up the camera so we can check it out. Everything looks good, so hopefully this video was useful to somebody out there. Apply some pressure with this cleaning cloth and this thing is good to go. Appreciate you watching. Thanks again, guys, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye-bye now.